The truth about today's open houses are very simple. Open houses have changed over the years for certain. Now, open houses today are more for the buyer. They're more for the buyer to come through and kind of shop, kind of go through the house on their own. They don't necessarily want to have to talk about it with an agent. In fact, they show up without their agent. So I'm hosting an open house tonight. It's Friday evening. It's May 20th, 2022. I'm going to Billerica, Mass, which is about 20 miles north of Boston. If you're looking at this down the line a little bit, I'm going to an open house tonight at 5 to 6. They call it a commuter open house. I have full intention that the people that come to the house are going to be a bunch of buyers that are going to come in represented without the representation. So they're going to come through. They're going to sign in. My name is Evan Russell. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. If I give you the real information, then my sign-in sheet also says, are you working with an agent? And they sign yes or no. 99 times out of 100, they say, yes, I'm working with an agent. Most buyers who are touring open houses have developed a relationship with an agent that they're probably going to use or submit the offer in. So opening the house for the open house lets buyers come through and kind of shop on their own. Then they'll go back to their agent and say, hey, agent, I went to 54 Whipple in Billerica. I liked it. I want to make an offer. Or, hey, agent, I went to the open house. Could you ask these questions for me? Or, hey, agent, is there a seller disclosure you could download? Very few buyers are calling agents and saying, hey, agent, I'm going today to 54 Whipple in Billerica. Would you mind joining me? They don't do that. They just kind of wander and just show up. They wander on Saturdays. They wander on Sundays. They do have an agent they want to work with, but they'll call them after the fact and say, hey, I like it. Hey, I don't like it. Hey, here are the questions. Very rarely does an agent show up with their buyer to walk through the open houses. Open houses are primarily for buyers to tour on their own. And more importantly, they don't even like to be talked to. They ask a few questions here or there, but if you try to make small talk with them, they really are there to look at the house on their own with their spouse, partner, mom, dad, whoever, get their opinion of the house to go out, and then they'll call their agent. So hosting an open house has become much different. It used to be an opportunity for leads where you get unrepresented buyers. You say, hey, I'd like to help you buy this house. If not this house, I'll help you buy another one. Or, hey, this is how I've marketed this house. If you're thinking about buying or selling, I can do the same marketing for your house. That used to be what open houses were really all about. It gave the agent an opportunity to meet new people and maybe discover new opportunities. Now they come through, there's very little conversation, and most of the time they're represented or they have an agent they're going to use anyway. So the open house just makes it convenient for buyers to come through without having to set an appointment, without having to be in a time slot. They can just come through their open house. They wander through, they make their feedback, they deliver back to their agent, which is why we host 3. I'm hosting a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday open house. It just makes it easy access for the buyer to come through, and the buyer doesn't have to schedule and coordinate with their own agent that they're working with. They can just come on through and take a look. So I provide them all the information they need. I do have their listing brochure, the slick, the information. I answer all their questions, that sort of thing. But if they do have an interest in the house, or they do want to make an offer, they'll call their own agent. Very few people come in unrepresented, asking the host of the open house to help them through that transaction. That's just what I've kind of found over the last, couple years or so. The buyers are really there just to shop, kind of like walking through the mall. They just want to go through the mall. You need some help? No, I'm all set. Need some help? No, I'm all set. But they're really looking for something in the store. They just don't necessarily want to talk to anybody yet. They're not ready to have a conversation. So when they leave the open house, they then call their agent and then they have the conversation. So that's the truth about open houses. Again, Evan Russell Realty Minute. Hey, if you get a minute, subscribe on my YouTube channel. I'd love it. Hit that bell to let you be notified of new videos that posted. And if you're listening to this in the podcast in iTunes or wherever you get your podcast, be sure you leave me a quick review. I'd really appreciate it.